let's get into the meat and the cocoa of why we are here today. Ira, I said Ira. let me get that out of my head already. Buju and Mayokun dropped on the same same week or the same day, basically the same pocket, okay? But nonetheless, Buju is doing something that I hope a lot of artists kind of like pick up on, is when you strike when the knife is hot. So how does the saying say? Like you strike when the fire is hot or something. So, anyway, you get what I mean. Buju is on a massive run this year. 2021 has been Buju's year. 2021 has been Buju's year when it comes to his features and the singles. Ever since he got off the outside spaceship, and ever since he got off the spaceship, his man has been relentless. From Feeling to Bling to Outside, like and all those songs, and there's so many other examples of features that he has, like the one with Basket Out. The one that's picking up steam right now is the one with Timaya, and it has felt like this man has been in the airwaves and has dominated the space for quite a while. And it makes sense now that he is capping it off with a project. Now this is a project that was supposed to be out last year, but it makes sense and it's good timing that he has it now. And it's called Sorry I'm Late. And that's the one we're going to be opening up with today. Okay? Buju, Sorry I'm Late. Let's get into it without any further ado. This one is called Daniel Benson. This is his government name. Imagine putting your government name as the opener to your debut album. You know what I mean? Daniel Benson. Not album, but EP. You get what I mean, Sha. Lamba.
You know my rhythm on fire. You know my sound is on fire. You know my melody on fire.
Oh, talk your shit. Talk your shit. Oh man, this guy's pen. This guy's pen. And the boy is not joking. Oh, you know my rhythm on fire. You know my sound is on fire. You know my melody on fire. And I don't stop, I don't tire. Fire. He knows.
And I don't stop, I don't
He knows.
tire.
He knows. He knows. He's declaring something very, very evident in this intro. He's making it clear. He's documenting what has been a phenomenal year for him. And he's talking about it, like his melodies, his rhythms, his vibes have been on fire, man. And it's quite evident from the results we've seen that he has put out this year. I like this intro. He's talking about himself. It's very like, okay, let me talk about my shit. Let me open up with some little bit of braggadocio, you know, to let you guys know that like I'm about that, you know what I mean? I'm really about that. I've done all this year, and I'm on fire right now. I'm on a streak, and I love the guitar like strumming on this. Very nice, very calm, like, and the way the beats transitions into the hook, the drum rolls there. Very nice attention to detail for those things. It definitely built the atmosphere. It's very calm. It's not like danceable. It's not like aggressive. It's very like, okay, let me just set up the atmosphere for you guys to get into it. And it's somewhat motivational too, like to say like to be inspired to show some level of confidence. And I'm here for it, man. Daniel Benson, can you imagine? He might put his whole govy, man. How you guys feeling about that one? Everyone's 100%. You guys are 100% on that one? Okay, 100%. I guess it's on a motivational P, man. Inspire to inspire. And ain't nobody stopping this, so you can watch and see. Okay, tell him. Okay, interesting. I can see where he's going with this. I can see the introduction. Like, the thing about, like, I've said this time and time again, when it comes to sequencing a project, it's so important to have your first couple records be as dynamic to at least keep people engaged to it. I like what he's doing. I like the vibe of this song. I love the pace already. I could definitely feel it. But just from flowing down from the top to bottom, I think it's so significant to have your second song to try and like peak or change the atmosphere a little bit, to be a little bit more drastic and dynamic from the intro song. The intro song was calm, it was very mid-tempo, it was a very bouncy song that felt inspirational. We're getting into another inspirational bag, but I would have loved for the pace to be a little bit different, the atmosphere to be a little bit different, to like signify like, okay, this is a transition. Usually that's when the second song is supposed to like signify, oh, we're starting this project. But if the second song is sounding like this, it's making me think maybe the entire project is having a similar pace, a similar atmosphere already. Maybe you can hear some like, you know what I mean, a little bit of a Made in Lagos type influence or post Made in Lagos type effect on this project so far. It's very loungy. I can hear sax in the back. I can hear a lot of like calm, like, you know what I mean, just calm keys, very soft keys on there. It doesn't seem drastic. It doesn't seem chaotic. It's very, very like intimate, like type record. But either way, it's on the motivational P, which is already sounding like this is the entire, like the overarching theme of the album, which like makes sense if it's going that direction.
Para, who say Buju no fit single tell the motherfucker.
Hey!
16 bar on your favorite rapper.
Hey!
Nigga we still sappy flow proper. Big giant 5'4" from smelting now. You're looking at the mix of burner boy and two papa. With a sprinkle of the and fried ocean shot.
Yo, this eating!
No say these people know they
Yo, he's eating up this second verse, man. I didn't see this coming. It's important to like to set up a song properly, because I could never see this kind of verse coming, man. This verse.
Para, but you know if you single tell the motherfucker. Drop a 16 bar on your favorite rapper. I'm a single nigga, we still sappy flow proper. Big giant 5'4" from smelting now.
This man is talking. He's talking.
A
little mix of Two Baba and Burna Boy. That's facts. That's facts. You can hear the influences of Two Baba and Burna for sure. I like the shit talking in the second verse so far. Pen. That was clearly and obviously the highlight of the song. That second verse, man. That run on the second verse, talking this shit about like drop a 16 bar on your favorite rapper. Like, come on. Nah, I liked it. But again, the sequencing is what's like throwing me off a little bit. But I think it's still an interesting record. Again, we're getting the Made in Lagos type synergy. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, energy, like a vibe, almost the atmosphere of that. And I'm here for it. Like based on the production, and I like how detailed the production is so far. And you guys are feeling the 91% on that song, Abby. Okay, 91%. This was a song that was rumored to be. Even when it happened, I was like, yeah, maybe this shit is true. But this song was rumored to be the kilometer that he had written for Burna, and then Burna took it and blah blah blah. You know, you hear all this crazy, like no source of evidence type gist. That snare, the way that snare entered. What is this man? But the way that beat is snaring, it sounds like it's all live instrumentation, which is kind of like decent, man. It's very clean. I want the production to build up a little bit. It feels bare bones. Okay, now we're picking up. We're picking up with the log drums. Okay. The melodies are just what's doing it for me, man. He goes into other melodies in between the verses and just goes on a random spaz type energy. And like right now, it's similar or to like an amapiano type influence. You can hear the long drums that came in there, but it's kind of weird because this is not your original. This is not your regular type of amapiano like drop. Amapiano feels a lot more electronic instruments, but this one has that snare. That snare sounds so runchy, like it's live. It's a live drum that it feels like a live drum. But mixing that with log drums, which is clearly digital, it's like kind of weird mix. You know what I mean? It feels like you're mixing like Fela's live band with something very electronic. It's weird how they come together, but I just thought that was interesting as well. Kilo. There's some oomph that I'm waiting to hear on the chorus. Is it just me? I feel like the production is lacking some things, man. I just feel like the production, it felt quite drafty. It felt incomplete on that one. I feel like I don't know. I can't pinpoint what it is that feels missing in that song, but I definitely feel like there's some other energy that I would have wanted, that I was craving for in that song. Next track, Something Sweet. Oh, that bass guitar. Come in, Jay. Let's go. Oh shit, do me nice. Alright. That was interesting. Something Sweet. It feels quite drafty. It feels quite like it's not like it doesn't feel like it's a complete record. It still feels like great production, by the way. Nice space. Very very subtle type bounce. But I just felt the song didn't feel complete. It's just something that isn't working. The melody wasn't as engaging, and it just felt like there wasn't really much going on with it. And I don't know. The atmosphere just feels like it was taking us again. The sequencing too has been another thing. After Kilometer, he brought me to an energy and immediately killed that buzz right after this with Something Sweet. I feel like the sequencing is doing this album or this project a disservice right now. The change in tones have not been settling in well, and I feel like with Kilometer, with the energy it came in, with what it's kind of signified, it didn't feel like the next song to follow that should be a song like Something Sweet that just left you feeling that left you feeling like, all right, this is a nice bounce, but I'm not getting anything out of it. The melody is not as engaging. It's not as captivating as what we've seen from him. So maybe this might just be a first instance thing, but again, this is all my first listen take. It's very well possible that I'll feel different about it eventually if I ever revisit it. But Something Sweet didn't strike me as a significant moment here. If anything, it already felt like it was short too. It was like it didn't really strike me as much. How are you guys feeling about it? You guys are at 50%. I want to see what Buju came up with the Caveman. Caveman also released their project, like we mentioned. Vibes there, body, not the finish. Okay. Interesting effect on their voice there. Oh, right there. That was nice. Okay, the production is quite like. Huh? Okay, let's enter. It still feels like it needs a drop. Perhaps the dead body, they finish. Okay. Let's go. Is this Benjamin? This song came alive right now. I'm sorry, but the production on Buju's part was not doing him well. Like, I was expecting a build up, but he had this it was very minimalist on that. They didn't stack too much behind him. Buju just had I loved how his voice kind of took a lot of precedence, but it kind of took too much precedence because I was expecting the song to build up momentum. But as soon as Caveman came back with the vibes, they body, they finished. Like, it was picking up a bit, and then we're getting into a verse from Caveman. I don't know which of the brothers it might be, but this felt like it had a different production behind it. You know what I mean? It feels quite different from Buju's intro. Interesting that they did that, but so far this is an interesting collab. An interesting collab right here. The song is different. It feels different here. Where's my color notes? Let's go. Hey. Ad-libs, let's go. Let's beat the song go. Let's go. Not the finish. Oh, that's catchy. That's a catchy phrase. Okay. Hey, those ad libs. Why the momentum die? Okay. Oh, I wish they could have built on this. This is too short. This is too short for a Caveman record, man. Nah, bro. I wish they did justice to the song. They had a great idea with it. Great arrangement too. That's kind of interesting, the arrangement of the song. But I feel like the meat and essence of the song was catching up once Caveman had finished their verse, and Buju came back. The synergy between both of them would have been great for them to carry that momentum and see the song out, create a vibe, create an atmosphere for the song. So far, like I felt they could have tackled this approach a little bit different from how I see it, man. But nonetheless, the Caveman moments were great. Then again, not to say like a Caveman feature should mean something. You should utilize Caveman to the very best that you can if you're inviting them on your song. So I wouldn't say that as a negative on Buju. Artists even give other artists their entire song on their album sometimes. Like I'm not too mad about that. I just like that it creates, or it's a good part of the EP experience overall. So I'm not mad at it. Interesting EP so far, man. Interesting. It's quite a lot to be said, but we'll try and keep it down. I like the way he entered that. Okay, why log drums? I won't lie. This needs to be a little bit more dynamic. Like for an EP, you want to make use of it and experiment as much as you can, and yeah, man. For an EP, look, it's interesting the direction he's going with. He's kind of like bringing. I'm not a big fan of the approach here. I think a lot of the songs, well, many of the songs now, well, majority of them, 2, 3, 2, 4, and 6 so far, those songs felt like there were moments that could have used, or at least could use some level of assistance in terms of either the production being quite soothing or correct for it, or just having a dynamic feeling to it. This song just felt flat. It felt quite predictable, and I wasn't looking forward to anything. There was no strong verse in this that kind of like spiked my excitement from this. There was no like striking moment. His lyricism was kind of cheeky. This is a love song too, so love songs, like it's obviously a hit or miss. You can come off sounding very generic on many love songs. You can say the same thing that everybody says when they're trying to woo somebody. That it's all cool and dandy, but to make it much more exciting, to make it feel like it's something extra, there's more thought into it. It doesn't really feel that. I'm not getting that on this track and Something Sweet. Like this track and Something Sweet have been those records that felt either like not so strong of a melody and just feeling quite flat throughout the entire course of the song, and feeling like the song needed a dynamic moment, maybe a bridge, maybe a change in melody, maybe something different that would strike or spike my excitement and attention to it. Not the most impressive I've seen from him, man. It's not the most impressive writing I've seen, especially on a love song, Zanzibar trips. Yeah, but it didn't really like I'm not getting quotables. I'm not getting moments out of it. But yeah, I'm curious how you guys feel about this one though. You guys are saying, yeah, Benedict TV is saying the log drums wasn't needed at all. Yeah, man. Why was the log drums even introduced? Like, what excitement? What did that do? Like, it didn't. Yeah, it's quite tragic how the production. I don't know. I don't want to like obviously. I mean, you guys look through the credit and see who produced many of the songs, but the productions, like, nah. Next comment was Buju's writing style, vocal performance, and beat selections are a bit hit or miss. I love songs like Testimony, Mood, Outside, and Feelings, but this project is a letdown. I'm sorry. Ish. Okay. That was IK Fuego. Allowed Demilade saying Buju shines during features. his biggest strength is in his hook writing. I agree to some point, but the standalone songs that he has that have held so much weight, that have been him, like I've seen him be dynamic, be playful with the song to keep you engaged throughout the song. I don't think it's all about his hooks. He definitely has strong verses. He writes. He can make a good complete song. So I don't think he always needs another person on the song. Even though I was just making a comment about, oh yeah, maybe there was an instance that he could use an assistance there. But there've been many moments that Buju has dropped records that was completely solo, and I was engaged throughout the song. The original Lenu was a banger without Burner before. Testimony too has grown on me as a solid record. Outside, Mind Games from the Ijoya project, Energy. There are many moments that Buju has shined through as an artist, that are standalone artist. Maybe because they haven't gotten to the mainstream level, or they haven't seeped to the top level, like songs like Feeling did, or another feature like Blink did. Do you know what I mean? But I feel Buju can stand alone as his first, but he's just not proving that point as clear on this project. Right now, he's not proving that point very well on this project, to be honest. And I can see why people would think, oh, he's just a features guy. But honestly, he is not. I feel like he can definitely like be stronger here with this. He's not a features guy. Like Buju is far from just a features guy. Like that can be his narrative. That cannot be his narrative, man. Someone said he's like anti-fireball. What does that even mean? This is my second time listening to this EP, and I still feel the same way. Interesting. Or I said that. She's still kind of disappointed with it. Again, it's still early stages. Remember how we were about Made in Lagos? Made in Lagos has aged beautifully over time. Comments still remain about it, but over time you feel like the album was a statement, and you could see what it was. Now Buju, I don't see the statement as clear so far on this project. But we're getting to the last track, and I hope it's a good way to close it, because the sequencing has been the poorest part of this project. I feel like the sequencing has done this a lot of disservice, where the flow and transitions into songs were quite abrupt and like not and killing momentums, killing vibes, it was just, the sequencing was just poor. And I hope it closes decently, because there have been songs that I feel like would have made a decent closer. Like Never Stopped would have been bro, it's even in the name. Never Stopped is saying, oh, even though this is the last track and it's stopping here, I'm not stopping. You know what I mean? It could be a little bit of a subtle niche, because the song is about motivation and moving on to the next thing and being able to still push through. You can end and close on that note. You know what I mean? There's more creative ways you could have sequenced the album, but I don't think it was a strong sequencing. But last track, I do. Let's get right into it before we wrap up for Buju's project, and we can have our final summary on it, and we move on. Okay, next track, last track, I do. Let's go. Okay, let's see how he's ending it. More fire. It's Timmy J, eh? Okay, the mix on this is quite off. He's like, it feels like he just showed up more, like it's in your face. Like Buju just stepped up a little bit. It's a little bit more. The mixing could have been cleaner, but I'm feeling the reggae bounce on this as it's building up. The snare and the drum snap. I like it. It's feeling like it's building up to a reggae bounce. But the mixing is quite, like the mixing kind of threw me off. This man is too close to my ear, man.
Look, man, I throw 5 miles forward. I know as I can achieve whatever I put my mind to.
Yeah,
The
this doesn't
question
mix
is,
properly.
do you want it as bad as I do?
Mmm.
Left hook, right hook, man, I throw.
Okay.
5 miles forward. I know as I can achieve whatever I put my mind to. The question is, do you want it as bad as I do? Do you want it as bad as I do? Build a legacy, make money moves. Believe my team.
Okay, it's pen is shining on this. It's pen is shining.
Can't stay out of looking forward to do.
Let's
Thinking
go.
about me, you ain't got a clue.
Let's
My life is smart,
go.
but inside I'm feeling blue.
Uh-huh.
I know the drill, so I
That's
still
deep.
kick it with you.
Mm.
Inside I'd rather be in my room.
Mm. Okay. Mm. Mm. Okay, this is an outro song. This is an outro song. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. It's kind of achieving the same or similar thing that Never Stopped was achieving. He's making the same point and making the same narrative that Never Stopped kind of did. But this one is quite more. It feels more introspective. It feels much more personal. I'm here. I'm liking the direction for this one, and I'm liking that this is feels like an outro. It does feel like an outro, and I like that he's putting it as an outro. Okay. My if previous comment was like, okay, I don't know if he's gonna make it an outro, but this definitely does feel like an outro. It's feeling much more personal. It's feeling much more like you're getting into layers of Buju that we not necessarily have seen. It's talking about how he can't stay idle. He's talking about how like the excitement he gets from people vibing to his songs. He has been having a phenomenal year now, so I'm sure like you can get some insights on his reality now that he has increased and blown up to a different profile. He's arguably the artist of the year, with or without this EP, honestly. But yeah. I think we're getting a different side of him. His pen is heavier on this. It's definitely heavier on this record. Mhm. Hmm. You want this shit bad. Okay, okay. Oh, I love the background, what he's doing there. How he's doing like a call and response. Do you want it as bad as I do? And he's responding with I do in the back. I like that. I like that. That was a good idea. I definitely fuck with that. That was nice. No, it sounds good as he's harmonizing too with him, man. It's good. It's good. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, that was interesting. That was the interesting way to cap it off. Buju ending it off with the song I Do. I definitely like the song I Do. I like the direction of it. I like that it's also the outro. Again, like I said, introspective, feels more personal. I like that he let the beat breathe too. Like he's giving space for the beat to like feel like, oh, just like see us out of the project. I like that. It was definitely intentional. It felt more intentional. It felt one of the most intentional aspects of this project so far. And even though it's not like a chart topper or like a banger type or like a club banger, it feels introspective. Like the album has kind of felt overall. Guys, if you hear me say album, just understand that it's EP. Okay, I'm talking about. But nonetheless, this was interesting body of work from Buju. This is his debut project, so there was a shit ton of pressure on him. I bet there's a shit ton of pressure on him. First off, like let's understand that there's a lot of pressure to impress people because we've been conditioned already to see Buju as a singles artist. Like we already have. We've had like a good solid maybe 2-3 years with him so far since he has been releasing music at a decent level in his career. So we've been conditioned. We've been seeing him in singles concept. It's the same thing that kind of tainted techno's album experience for me. Is when you see an artist that you kind of register in the pop scene as a singles rollout type artist. The art form of making an album is not necessarily doesn't always translate. You know what I mean? From being a very very solid pop star that has amazing pop singles, it doesn't always translate into making great albums and making bodies of work that would do that. So I bet he had that pressure too to deal with. Now, you could see a little bit of the would I say the amateur or the novice type approach that he had with this sequencing, and that was what like kind of tainted the experience for me. It was I could not mess with the arrangement, sequencing of the records, the transitions. Where like when it even comes to the messaging, I feel like they were trying to build connections with the messaging when it didn't really need. He opened the song with Daniel Benson, and which was obviously like him talking the shit, being a motivational like type like wave. Open the song like, okay, yeah, I'm about that. I've done this, I've done that. Let me open the atmosphere into the album. It was very subtle, very mid tempo, and it was okay. It was a decent vibe to open up the project, and then getting to the next track, Never Stopped, which was virtually the similar thing, a similar narrative, a similar sentiment, a similar atmosphere. That felt like, okay, at this point, I'm expecting the EP to pick up a bit. I'm expecting the EP to have some level of transition that would make me seem, okay, we're ready. We're about to get into this album or this body of work. Let me actually sit down and pay attention. But I think he missed me with that. It was a missed opportunity there to move on with a song like Kilometer. That Kilometer would have been a very great track to follow a song that had like a somber moment on it. Then it had me thinking, okay, maybe if you're following that We Never Stop, then he's making the entire album like that. But the album didn't really feel like that. But with a song like Kilometer, he brought a song like Kilometer that picked up the energy, but Kilometer still had its own issues. The production it felt quite empty, it felt quite laggy. It felt like, not laggy, but like it felt like it needed a bit more. It felt like he needed a bit more, but it just wasn't hitting. It just wasn't clicking at that portion of it. But the bounce, you can respect that Buju was coming in with his A game. But again, my big issue with that was production. I'm going to Something Sweet, that is one of the worst transitions I've ever seen, like in recent times in the body of work. Going from a song that, okay, this is the time now to like build some momentum with the energy. You kind of have some momentum with this Kilometer song. Let's see it out into something that would like strike me a little bit, you know what I mean, to kind of like feed off of that energy. Maybe a toned down version, a slightly toned down version, but the transition is so drastic, it throws you off. Imagine being in a room or in a party where somebody's playing Yaba Buluku and next thing you hear is Adele. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of like switches up the atmosphere a bit. That's how drastic it felt, moving from Kilometer to Something Sweet. And then we move into the track with Caveman. Now, this track with Caveman, like we said, it was a nice element that this was the only feature on this album, that if this album warranted any feature, this felt like a worthy one, because they took some precedence in the song, made it very much like a Caveman moment, made it very much like a Caveman atmosphere, and then Buju implementing himself on it. Yeah, people were leaving comments like, oh yeah, it felt like Caveman featuring Buju, and I'm not mad about that. Regardless, like, if it still makes for a good complete record, that's what matters at the end of the day. Caveman shining through, but the inconsistency with the production, with his verse and the Caveman verse would have been a lot more interesting, but that would have been another moment with it. And then we get into a track that honestly was the least impactful one here. It's called For Here, and I didn't get the point of the song. I did not get the point of the song. It didn't really feel like it had any statement or any significant statement to say in this project. It felt like I had heard it already in Something Sweet. And was a song that had log drums that were just so disturbing and unwarranted and like it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense for that particular moment in the album. And then we get into the outro. Then thankfully he ended it with a song that felt like an outro. I Do was very introspective. A lot of like calm, like pen, like beautiful writing style there. You can see something quite similar to like a Two-Face type, like a Tubaba type influence there. You can see with his writing, and I appreciated that he got more personal on that record, and he let the beat breathe, have its own moment, and see us out of the project, which was good. Okay, now as far as this might signify in his career, I don't think this is a great project to document the level of dominance he has had. I didn't see much of that Buju that we had seen throughout the course of the year translated into this EP. There were moments, of course, like the Daniel Benson, when he had a crazy it was Never Stop that he had a crazy verse. The second verse there, I think that was one of the best moments I could say, oh yeah, this is Buju bringing the energy up and keeping the album engaging. Yeah, I mean, keeping the EP engaging. Now, the songwriting too had this moment, but yeah, like I said, Never Stop was the best moment, and I Do was also another good moment here. Yeah, what else to say about this one? His delivery was decent across the board, but again, moments where were just like least impressive or so predictable, like For You, like Something Sweet. Those were not great moments, even from a delivery standpoint. But so far, it's a decent EP, decent project. My favorite on here would be Ogechukwu for sure. Ogechukwu, Daniel Benson, and I Do. those would be my absolute favorites. So the songs that I'm definitely standing with, that I feel like I'll be going back to. Never, like, even if, like, yeah, maybe Never Stopped, but yeah, maybe Never Stopped too. I can lump Never Stopped in there, but the sequencing wasn't the best. I feel like that was not the moment that we needed to hear Never Stopped. But those were my favorites. My least favorites, you got I've made it clear. Something Sweet for here. Those two could go, honestly, or at least maybe they could be reworked, because they had seemed like they had decent ideas, but they didn't feel complete. They didn't feel like complete ideas, and I guess that would be it for me. I don't know how you guys are feeling in terms of your favorites, in terms of your least favorites. Let me know in the comment section. That was Buju, man. Now, if I was to put a number on it, on Buju's project, right now, at this moment, I'm looking at a 6.5 on it. I'm looking at a decent, nice 6.5. It's not strong. It's not a strong 6.5. Obviously, it can swing either way. It can swing either way as a couple months go by. But yeah, it's a decent body of work to open up. He should have been more experimental. Bring a side of Buju that we hadn't seen before. I liked what he did there with Caveman. I feel like that was quite eventful to see. To see him in a high life context. But yes, a lot more experiments would have been great. Better production in certain moments would have been great too. Yeah. I'm curious how you guys feel about this one, man. That was Buju with his debut EP, Sorry I'm Late. Alright. Yeah, the Buju, yeah, exactly what I was saying. Like, it doesn't necessarily translate or help document the amazing run that he has had in 2021 with his singles and features. Yeah, I feel you on that. Abdul Malik Taiwo said the project isn't complementing his sick run so far. Benedict TV said my favorite is Ogechuku, and he's rating it a 6 out of 10. Yeah, give me your ratings. Let me see what you guys feel about this one. Give me your ratings on that. We spent quite a while on this body of work. Can't imagine Mayor Cool album taking twice as much the time, man. Yeah, 6 out of 10 for that. Let me see how you guys feel about it. Yeah, leave in the comment your rating for that. That was Buju. Sorry I'm late. Okay.